All right, let's talk about the long-run aggregate supply, aggregate demand model. Keep in mind what we're simply doing is adding on the dimension of where we want to be onto the model that we've already talked about. In the basic aggregate supply, aggregate demand model, you're looking for where the aggregate supply and the short-run aggregate supply, or the aggregate demand and the short-run aggregate supply curves cross, and that tells you the equilibrium price level and the amount of real GDP we're producing at that level. So we're always moving toward that short-run equilibrium. However, that may not be where we want to be. That simply tells us where we are today. So you add in the dimension of the long run. And our goal in the long run is to be at full employment. Remember, that was one of our goals back in Chapter 5. You want low unemployment, so our real goal is full employment. And that's labeled at QN, which is natural real GDP. That's how much we produce when we're at full employment. So it's very possible that the economy may be at short-run equilibrium at some level of output other than full employment. And so that's the graphs we did the other night. You can wind up with a recessionary gap, which occurs when your current output is less than the full employment output, and so the distance there is the gap. Could be 100 million, could be a billion, could be 10 billion, could be 800 billion, whatever it is, you have the gap. And then according to the classical model, this will eventually self-correct because you have a lot of unemployment, therefore you have a surplus of people, surplus of land, surplus of resources, so they should fall in price. As those go down, those are supply shifters, and so the short average supply curve will gradually shift right until you hit full employment. So it takes care of itself. The opposite case would be, well, what if you're overproducing? What if you're at short-run equilibrium past full employment? Well, that's possible too. You can overproduce. You can bring back in retirees, you can pull college students in, discouraged workers, so you can actually get unemployment too low in this model. So equilibrium is somewhere out to the right, and we need to be somewhere back here, a little bit less. In this case, you've got an inflationary gap. You're overproducing by that amount. Well, in this case, you've got a shortage of people, a shortage of land, a shortage of resources. They go up in price, therefore firms start to cut back on production, so the short average supply curve shifts back to the left until you hit full employment. Again, gradual process. And so that is basically your long-run self-correction process in the classical model. The economy will take care of itself. The key assumptions: prices are flexible up and down, wages are flexible up and down, interest rates are flexible up and down. So as long as those conditions are met, the classical model says the economy will self-correct to full employment. And that is it.